How are you? My name's Muddy for today, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about this coronavirus. So I took some notes. I'm gonna do a stupid attempt at making a video just to get this shit off of my chest. And so, if anybody asks me, I can just direct them toward this. Here is an attempt to formulate my thoughts. So I guess first, when has the media ever been right? I mean, they lied about the polls with Hillary. Donald Trump would never become president, and then all of a sudden he was. I was even shocked by that. 9/11, the official story wasn't what they told us. Iraq, no WMDs. The list goes on and on and on. And it's just a concerning thing for me. Not saying it's not real or anything like that, but the media has a horrible track record of getting it wrong. So people believing them, I kind of feel sorry for them. You got to take it with a grain of salt and try to do the best research you can on your own. Who benefits? In a huge situation like this, you want to look at who benefits. I know there's a Latin term for it, but it escapes me. But that should always be taken into consideration. TP versus food. I'm a people watcher, and I hate the grocery store. So that contradicts itself. But when I go there, I do watch. And I watch people buy an unproportionate amount of toilet paper. So I sort of figure it like this. If I have 1 can of beans, I'm going to need about 3 squares of toilet paper. Now, your butt may be different than mine. I seem to be quite regular. But yeah, 3 pieces of toilet paper, 1 can of beans, you're set. Now people are walking out of the store with a ratio of 1 roll of toilet paper per item of food. And it boggles my mind. I don't know what's going on with that. What about food and bullets? 1 bullet can get you a lot of meals. An empty gun can get you a lot of meals. Just the psychological effect of a gun pointed at you and not knowing whether there's something in it or not. It kind of reminds me of this whole thing going on. There's a gun pointed at us, but we don't know if there's a bullet in the chamber. And that in itself is scary. I guess the history of humans, we've always created stories about the dark. We can't explain the dark. We can't see what's in the dark. So our imagination runs wild. And that tends to feed our fears. So I would say that this is the perfect storm. A disease is something that we can't see. So it's kind of leaving us in the dark. I mean, we see the sick, but it's not a threat. There's no burning buildings. There's no terrorist group claiming responsibility, which I find that hard to believe that Al Qaeda or ISIS didn't just throw that in there. And it comes at a perfect time of division. We've been split in so many fractions, so many intersectionalities. Man versus woman, white versus black, boy versus girl, rich versus poor, Republican versus Democrat, lesbians against transsexuals. I know I'm leaving out 65 other references. And it's been a build-up. We've been building up to this. Even families are split amongst politics, ideologies, types of music. There's so many reasons to hate these days. And it shouldn't be that way. Everybody thinks money's kind of gross right now too. And I'm not used to have a credit card or debit card, but I know they recently introduced the chip. So you no longer have to hand your credit card over to get it swiped. You just do it all yourself. I'm just wondering if that's not part of the build-up. I'm always wondering if there's some larger conspiracy at foot. But that's just who I'm trained to be. I've been lied to so many times that I kind of create my own stories in my head to try to make sense of things. Even as a child, you're told Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. Then as you get older, all of those get picked off. And then the last one they leave is Jesus. And that kind of mind fucks you. So all these other people, things, not real. You've been lying to me the whole time. I mean, I think I could have had an imagination without those things. I don't think those things are beneficial. But maybe I'm just being sensitive. I would like to do a comparison to a child that's just told everything right up front. No, Santa Claus isn't real. For God's sakes, no. Reindeers can't fly. So we just start from a higher plateau. Maybe it's like an Arrested Development kind of thing. I don't know. Am I allowed to drink? Forgive me, I don't know how to edit. So you're gonna have to see me get up and turn off the video at the end. This whole situation reminds me of the frog in the pot. Incrementally every day, they're ramping up numbers, ramping up restrictions, travel, businesses, making $1,000 to $2,000 a month from the government sounds good to a lot of people. But to a lot of people, that's a pay cut. And people don't like to sit idle. I don't know about you, but I find it hard to go on vacation and not worry about work. And maybe I'm in a different spot. But I just want to be productive. Sitting idle kills me. If I'm around a campfire, I have to be tending to the wood pile, or cooking, or just not sitting there, talking, thinking. For God's sakes, do something. I hate people that say, I just want to do nothing all day. I'm like, yeah. What are you going to do after 5 hours? And your ass hurts. All right, I'm going off on a tangent. Sorry. I found it interesting that corona type of plasma atmosphere of the sun or other celestial bodies, and it has to do with an eclipse when the moon passes in front of the sun. Now we all remember all the crazy the movies about the Aztecs, Apocalypto, and sacrifice. And why would they sacrifice to the sun? Well, they'd sacrifice for food. And if you guys remember last year, there was a crop shortage. All around the farms where I live, there is nasty smell in the field, and it's called buck, and I have no idea what it's called, but it's like a bunch of radishes they put in the ground to replenish the soil, and they did that because we didn't grow corn or soy this year. There was just too much rain. Something messed everything up, and all the marijuana croppers around Michigan too had seeds. So even where'd you go? I'm sorry, I'm a novice. So all the marijuana croppers around Michigan got seeds, and that was alarming to everybody. No food, no good pot. Always a bad time. But it's just a connection that I made. I don't know if anybody else is making that connection. Like I said, I probably think things are way too connected when they're not. But it is interesting, though, isn't it? They sacrifice people. Wasn't there just recently an eclipse, too? I don't know if it was last year or it was the year before in Michigan. I wonder if that had anything to do with that. I doubt it. So, here's another thing I was thinking of. If stuff is incrementally getting shut off and shut down, eventually the services that we hold so dear, YouTube and the internet, will not be there, nor will our precious Google. So, what are you going to do? Do you know how to start a fire? Do you know how to tend to a medical emergency by yourself in a situation where your cell phone doesn't work? Do you know what to do when your car breaks down and you don't have a YouTube how-to video? How do you get seeds from the food we eat to regrow them to sustain our life? Do you know how to garden? All these things probably know, maybe to a certain degree. But just think about how much you've been relying on that little machine in your pocket. You let it calculate for you. You let it drive for you. You let it tell you what to think. It suggests what you watch. I'm talking to it alone in a room right now. Just something to think about. So I would print. Get on Google right now. How do I grow seeds? How do I tend to a garden? How do I collect rainwater? How do I field dress a wound? How do I make my own ammunition? How to find true north? How to make water safe to drink? How to dry food for long-term storage? How to can vegetables? Do you know these things? Do you have the tools to do these things? I know you have enough toilet paper, but you don't know how to get safe drinking water. Food for thought. There's a lot of fear going on. I read, recently I said that soon they're going to say that your pets can get it. And that's going to increase more people's fears. Because fear, people don't care about themselves. It's a documented fact that when a human is prescribed something, they rarely take the prescription. But when they take their dog or cat in, and they're sick, they tend to give their prescription to their dog or cat more than they would take themselves. Another thing to think about. Fear-mongering. The 9/11 connection blows my mind. The amount of laws that are going to change after this is going to be astronomical, and nobody will bat an eye. Liberties will be taken from us in the name of fear. And it will feel good at first, but it will not be right. I believe it's an un-American way to go about things. Fear is healthy. Take Steve Irwin. If he was scared of the ocean, he'd still be alive right now. Sorry, Steve. Cool dude. On 9/11, there was war games. Coincidentally, on September 11th, 2001, there were planes flying around protecting our borders when we were being attacked from within. But still in the air doing war games nonetheless. Then you find out in Wuhan, China, 2019, the International War Games were going on. October 18th to the 27th. Coincidence? War Games in China? In Wuhan? 2019? In October. Just a slight nugget for thought right there. I mean, all these things. I mean, you can find connections anywhere. I'm not going to do any number stuff. I think that's ridiculous. Enjoy. So, a very, very interesting thing that I came across is the Center for Health Security channel. And this was brought to my attention because of hearing of this Event 201. And I believe it's put on by the World Economic Forum, Event 201. And it's a place where they war game bio incidences. So I think it's called a pandemic exercise, as it says. And if you got a whole day, which you probably do because you're not going to work, I'd get on this website on YouTube. Go right here, click that, go to videos. And then you're going to want to watch Ask the Right Questions about Homeland Security. In that, a fine gentleman details how hard it would be to attack the country in various ways, whether terrorism, biohazard, nuclear. And the one we were at risk most for was biological. And it's an hour-long video. And you can skip past the terrorism part and the nuclear part and just go to the bio stuff. And it's a fucking eye-opener, man. It 7-8 years ago in 2013, he was hitting it right on the head. It's like, I was thinking, are you sure that this video wasn't done this year? And then just they put a later date on it. YouTube Gold. The whole Event 201 series. The whole, there's another one on here. Clade X. Clade X, the same scenario, same Event 201, just that's what they call the one they did the year previously. And these videos go back roughly 10 years. All the way down to their first video with 164 views. And it says World at Risk. Great way to start off your channel. Everything on this is authoritarianism. I can't say that word, I'm not going to try. Authoritarianism and fear-mongering. And it's scary. They hire these people to sit in a round table and just brainstorm what they would do to the American people if this happened. And it's terrifying. So watch, ask the right questions. Center for Health Security channel on YouTube. Ben Swan. Ben Swan's got a great video out right now that does math. And that might be weird in times like this, especially when there's been so many math flubs lately. But they actually do the math with the numbers given by the World Health Organization and the purported cases of the flu versus flu deaths. That's how many flu cases were reported versus the deaths of flu. And so far, and this is according to the World Health Organization, the flu is more likely to kill you if you contract it. And that's as of right now. I know that everybody is saying different, but check out this video by Ben Swan. It's worth your time. This guy right here, he does some really in-depth research. He's got kicked off of multiple local news channels for going against the narrative. But the video is, truth, seasonal flu twice as deadly as coronavirus, with a question mark. Another thing that I heard, and this is called the cold arrest procedure. And I found this on, the best video I found on YouTube was from a channel called High Impact Vlogs. High Impact Vlogs. And the video is, this is not a simple cure for C virus. Or is it? Do not watch. You have to put these kind of titles down. And it just goes through a procedure. Well, first they document the coronavirus and what it's susceptible to. And it'll be killed over 130 degrees, 133. And they say it lives in your nasal passages. And the reason why is because your nasal passages are the coolest part of the inside of your body. So it can live. If you swallow it, it dies because of your stomach acid and the heat from your esophagus. If it goes into your ear canal, it dies from the heat of your head. It cannot multiply, but it can multiply in your nasal cavities where the temperature is a little bit lower. Now, 133 degree dry air does kill it upon contact. So they're saying right now that saunas, dry saunas, are going to be the best thing for you. 20 minutes in a sauna, 40 minutes just to get your body temperature back down, and then back into the sauna. Now they say 3 times. Now why did they say 3 times? Well, I'm familiar with killing bugs. I kill bugs, I'm a farmer. Now when we kill bugs, we have to kill them 3 times in 3 separate days because of their reproduction. So sometimes you'll kill the big ones and the little ones will survive. So you come back the next day and kill them, and then you do one more time just for good measure, which makes sense to me. So people are doing this home remedy where they take a spray bottle full of water and they take a blow dryer and they plug up the end so enough air can't pass through. You sort of block it up a little bit. You spray your face and mist your face so you don't get dried out. And you just feel a cool sensation and not the hot air. All the while the hot air is going up into your nasal cavities and killing the coronavirus. Allegedly. Allegedly, according to the World Health Organization. So you might want to look that up. It's called the cold arrest procedure. And that's it. I got a couple of predictions, I guess. In quarantine, there's going to be a lot of sex. So there's going to be a quarantine baby boom. I do believe that. So far, this has made the biggest quacks in the industry a little bit credible. Everybody said this would never happen. Never happen, never happen, never happen. Now the people that said it happened, well, hey, kudos to you, huh? All those preppers. Hey, they feel pretty good right about now. Watching you scramble around. Not doing nothing. They're just rehydrating their food and chopping wood. They got a bidet on their toilet too. Looking at you like, who's the idiot now? Now let's pray. Yeah, I guess that's all. Hope you